Okay, folks, I'm back. I got a cough drop in my mouth. I'm trying to get over this cough I have. But anyway, you people have to learn to adapt a little bit. I mean, like I said, there's going to be a lot of fans out there when it comes to like the Sonic fan base. They're not going to be too happy. And currently, they aren't too happy with what's going on. With the Segafied redesigns, as they call it, of the SatAM characters, they're not happy about it. But a lot of people pointed out, yeah, you may not like it, we may not like it, but you know what? If it happens, we just got to deal with it. And you know what? Sooner or later, it's just going to die down, and we're not going to complain anymore. Because as long as the characters stay as they are, then there's not really much to complain about. But still, there's no satisfying anybody, and that's the same thing here. I mean, for months, for years, you guys were asking for a new championship. I mean, this was copyrighted 2005 when this came out. And you guys are complaining about the fact that this championship got changed for something you consider as worse? I mean, people like Simon Nicol HD, as well as Suicide Dive Wrestling, have all said, hey, we don't like this new design because it looks like crap. It's ugly. Yeah, but sooner or later you're going to basically say, you know what, we're stuck with this belt. But it's like I said in part one. I've got a feeling that WWE is going to take a page out of TNA's book, and they're going to probably let John Cena bring this back for his title run, and let's say John Cena ends up dropping it to CM Punk down the line, then yeah, they'll probably bring in the title The Rock introduced to have CM Punk hold. Or if they give it to Sheamus, they'll have Sheamus hold it. You get the picture. I mean, again, it's like I asked in part one. Did you complain and bitch when this got changed to the rounder, what you call the Attitude Era Championship? No. Did you bitch and complain when that Attitude Era Championship, along with the World Championship, got merged together into the Undisputed title? No. Did you bitch and complain when the Undisputed title became the WWE Championship and the World title came back? No, you didn't. Did you bitch and complain when this got changed? When the Classic Intercontinental title got changed to this, and then they brought the Classic Intercontinental Championship back? Did you complain about that? No, you did not complain. I mean, I just don't know what people want. I mean, it's just so crazy, I mean, did you bitch and complain, honestly, when the WWE Tag Team title belts, the classic 85 to 98, 98 to 2002 belts, got changed into two separate entities? These and the blue ones, the SmackDown ones. Did you bitch and complain about that? Probably so, probably not. But did you bitch and complain when these got unified and it resulted into what you call the big Trojan penny belts? Yeah, you bitched and complained about that, but have I heard any more bitching and complaining? No. No, I haven't, because people have learned to live with it. The fact of the matter is, folks, like I said, you had a lot of great things going on Raw, like I mentioned in part one, that people should be talking about. A great technical matchup between two submission wrestlers in Swagger and Daniel Bryan. A great controversial promo, if you will, by Swagger and Dutch Mantel, Zeb Coulter. I mean, you had a good match between Ziggler and Del Rio, with the teasing of Ziggler cashing in. You had all this great stuff, and yet, I mean, heck, you even had a decent squash match between Sin Cara and Mark Henry with the hints of Henry Khali for Mania. And yet, are people going to talk about that? Nope. They're going to talk about this being replaced by what they consider an uglier belt. But again, like I said at the end of part one, Thank God for people like groups like people like the Off the Rope Show, the Wrestling Gurus, probably the Renegades of Wrestling. Thank God for the British Fist, the Trio of Woe Show, possibly Brad of the Brad Rules. There are possibilities there. People that are finally saying, "Thank God this is gone, and we got something that looks more decent." I mean, Dallas and Jared of the Wrestling Gurus said it's going to take time, but they'll get used to it. The truth is, folks, just because you want something your way, doesn't mean you're always going to get it your way. And if you're going to get something that's semi-decent, then be happy about that. I mean, when the United States Championship was held by John Cena and he turned into a spinner belt, did you bitch and complain when he held it like that? When he turned it into that? No. You liked it. It was different. It was unique. It was innovative. But did they keep it like that? No, they didn't. As soon as he dropped the title to Orlando Jordan, what did they do? They put it back to what it was. Basically stating, folks, that if they could change this after, how many years? How many years did they have this title design before Cody changed it back? How many years? What? Like how many years again before Cody changed it back in 2010? How many years? Huh? I mean 2011, I should say. Yeah, 2011. How many years did they have that? Let's see, 98 to 2011. What, 13 years? And nobody ever thought they were going to restore it back to its classic form? Well, guess what? They did. The point is, folks, WWE, they listen to the fans, all right. But what they listen to mostly is how popular something is or a certain gimmick is. And if they feel that the new championship's not going to get over, then they're going to bring this son of a gun back. You know that. You pretty much know that if people don't get behind that new title design, this is coming back. It's going to come back. You know it. But again, don't worry about the fact that we may not see this new title design again, because like I said, they're probably going to go the route they did with the US belt. They're probably going to allow Cena, and maybe if he wins the championship at Mania, they'll probably allow Cena to carry this again. But let's say Cena drops the belt to Punk, Sheamus, Ryback, or whoever. Maybe even to, I don't know, Mark Henry, which would be a surprise. Then they'll bring that new title back. Or they'll just take a page out of TNA's book, like I said, and let them bring out both belts. The truth is, folks, no matter how much you complain about a title design changing, whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. Whether you like something changing or not, it's going to happen. Just be thankful that they have not changed this. They have a lot of respect for this. The only changing they did was put the W on it, and that was it. Be thankful most of it's still the same. Alright? I mean, it's like I've said, we've learned to deal with the changing of this to what it was, the Attitude Era belt, to the Ruthless Aggression, to the Undisputed Ruthless Aggression belt, to basically it becoming Ruthless Aggression PG Era belt, if you will. We've dealt with that and we've learned to adapt with it. We've learned to adapt with this, going from classic to this to back to classic. We've dealt with it, folks, and we've learned to adapt. We've learned to adapt from this, going back to what it originally was. And again, we've dealt with this going from the 98, the 85 to 98 to 98 2002 belt to this, to two separate tag team belts of Raw and SmackDown, Raw, the blue and SmackDown, to the now Trojan belts. We've learned to deal with it. And then believe it or not, you want a bit of trivia, this even went through a change as well. Because the NWA title that's currently held by, I can't think of his name right now on the independent circuit for the NWA, that was once known as this belt. This was once the NWA title too. And then they went back to the traditional NWA belt. The point is, folks, we can bitch and complain all we want. We can bitch and complain all we want, but we got to deal with the change. You know, again, like I said, a prime example is the Sonic fanbase. A lot of people are okay with the new designs coming, feel that they are needed. There are some that are in the middle, like saying, hey, let's just wait and see what happens, like myself. And there are some that are against it, but eventually if they do happen, or when they happen, they'll be like, okay, we'll see what happens. They'll just deal with it. I mean, yeah, they're going to bitch and complain for a while, but then when the dust settles, it's fine. Just again, like I said with the YouTube situation. YouTube has had different layout changes, different changes around, and people may have not liked it and stuff. But you know what? As soon as the dust settles, they've dealt with it. They've been like, okay, this is the direction we're going to go, fine. You know, even with the rumors of the new Xbox 720 going in the rumored direction of you got to be on internet all the time. You know, we may not like that possibility, but if it happens, we may bitch and complain about it for a while, but then when the dust settles, we'll deal with it. That's just what I'm saying. So, that's just my thoughts on this whole thing. Overall, for Raw, like I said in part one, it had some decent to great matches. You know, the Shield is still being built the way it should be built around. My thoughts on how they're going to probably wrap up the Shield, if they do, is they're probably going to do a gauntlet match with the Shield taking on Ryback, and with the stipulation that if the Shield loses, they disband. I feel that's probably where they're going to go. So that's all I'm going to say on it. Again, decent Raw, some great matches, some good promos, controversial or not, and definitely is slowly starting to build towards WrestleMania. And now again especially with the throw-in monkey wrench, especially now with that monkey wrench being thrown in of whether or not we're still going to go Cena Rock 2 or if it's going to be Cena Punk Rock. So we'll see what happens next week. Comment down below and tell me what you guys think, and I'll talk to you later.